You're listening to This Podcast is for Women, episode number 57, How to Pull a Man Closer with Your Every Word and Action Using Feminine Energy. If you are new to my podcast, my name's Adrienne Everheart. I am a feminine energy expert in dating and relationship and helping women attract, call forth, and keep a loving, stable, healthy relationship, all by balancing their natural feminine energy with your natural masculine energy. If you think of masculine and feminine energy, it is an energy we all have inside of us, even men, women, even a person who is gender neutral. They can be neutral and also have masculine traits and feminine traits, but primarily we function from one of these energies more than the other. If you are listening to this podcast, there's a good chance you are a powerful dynamite woman. And when you are a powerful dynamite woman, you are strong and masculine energy, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. I want you to be powerful and dynamite and get things done and be a high achiever. The problem is that we transfer this energy into our relationship with a man. And it can come off in really subtle ways. It can come off in hardcore, serious. You can spot it from 10 mile away ways. And I'm going to just help you steer yourself, your energy into a new direction with your man so that he gets in alignment with his masculine energy, which is not only just sexy, hot, and alluring, but it also gets stuff done. And you can stop over functioning. You can get more love, cuddles, attention, text, have a steadier, more even, flowing, relaxed relationship when you're not micromanaging or even just moderately managing your guy from a place of masculine energy. You'll be in your feminine receiving energy. Worry not, in today's episode, I'm going to share a lot of info that I have in my ebook, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. I'm going to tell you how to pull a man closer with your every word and your every action. But for right now, let's take a quick break. Now, I mentioned 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. It also has a 2-day video class. You can find that on my website. If you're on my Instagram channel, which is Adrienne Everheart, there's some underscores in there with my name on Instagram, you'll see so many testimonials from women who have used phrases in this book to either get their dating life into a place of receiving instead of pursuing men to get men to call them back and make things happen. You'll see women who are coupled, partnered, wives who say, oh, my relationship is going so much more smoother with my husband now that I'm speaking to him from my feminine energy source. I'm speaking to him and I'm taking action from this feminine energy place instead of I got to make this happen. I got to create the outcome. I got to control him. It's so easy to do. And I could give you a lot of history into why I believe this has happened, whether it's feminism, boom, suddenly feminism got dropped on us and we were all the same and everything was equal and 50-50. And again, in the workplace, I want you to have equal pay, things like this. But in the relationship, this is where no one gave us a guidebook or a handbook on how to do this. So up until this point, for how many hundreds of thousands of years, a woman's survival has been on the condition that a man treat her well. Your great-grandmother, there's a very good chance your great-grandmother did not have access to birth control, and her well-being and her children's well-being depended on a man being nice. That man didn't have to be nice. The laws have not always protected women, and we all know in other parts of this world, it's still going on, where women do not have the rights that men do. Even today, in my lifetime, I will tell you, my mom and my dad, I saw the court system giving my mother a way more difficult time during their divorce than my father. We had it way worse. My mom had us 3 kids. My dad was living the bachelor lifestyle. It's not fair. It's not equal. If he didn't pay his child support, she couldn't afford to hire an attorney. So I don't want to go off on a tangent because I believe you have your own story where you have experienced inequality, with the sexes, so you know it's alive and well. I don't need to convince you of this. What I want to do is create some harmony between that power and the illusion of power. So you have real power, and masculine energy is often about a little bit of an illusion of power. They do not have power over you. You are not a doormat. You have your boundaries. You have your feelings. But this is about making that relationship work. Instead of two bros at the office, one's the alpha and one is the assistant, or one's the manager and one is the supervisor, one is the captain of the ship, someone is a worker on the ship. There can't be two captains on the ship. There can't be two supervisors. There can't be two managers, especially in a relationship. Powerful dynamite women run their relationships like it's a business. Okay, so maybe I've spoke to you at this point. Let's talk a little bit about pulling a man closer with your every word and action, aligning in this feminine energy. Ladies, it takes a lot of practice, especially if you are powerful dynamite and you've been in that energy for a long time. You get results instantly. Sometimes you get a result that makes you then move to another feminine energy place you need to be. It's kind of like a little board game where you're just going along the path and then something changes and then something changes. So I'm going to give you some really juicy feminine energy things that you can do right now today. And if you want more, check out my ebook, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. Again, it comes with a 2-day video class. And I also have courses on my website, including a card deck that you can just carry in your purse or your car or your backpack, or keep it by your desk. And you need to talk to your guy, pull out a card. If you're having a problem with your guy, pull out a card and you can ask questions and do different spreads. There's nothing magical about it. It's just good feminine energy advice that I say over and over again all the time. So let's get started. I teach feeling statements, and feeling statements start off with I feel. They're not I feel you did this, I feel you made me angry. That's not how feeling statements work. They're basically just I feel and then the feeling. If you can, take away the word disappointed and hurt. When you're disappointed, someone has let you down with their actions because you had an expectation of their actions. So even if they're like supposed to take you out on a date at 5:00 and they cancel and you go, well, I feel disappointed. You can say, I feel disappointed I won't be able to see you. I feel disappointed I don't have anything to do tonight now. That's fine. But I feel disappointed you canceled. It's a different thing. Because now you're putting guilt on that man. And you know what? Maybe he deserves a little bit of guilt or a little bit of shaming. But this is about practicing balancing the relationship and not making men responsible for how you feel. So I want you to use your feeling statements, I feel, for positivity more than to complain about how you feel. That means you're going to tell the man what feels good. Oh, I feel so good seeing the lawn mowed. Oh, it feels so good to have you touch my shoulder. Oh, it feels so good to be together. Oh, I feel so proud that, you did this or that. And you're just using feeling statements to talk about the positivity you feel in your relationship instead of complaints. So I feel good when we talk calmly and lovingly with one another. It feels good to connect. When you tell a man over and over again how bad you feel, I feel angry, I feel hurt, don't you understand? I feel so terrified that you did this to me. Those are all perfectly valid feeling statements, but you only need one. You only need one. Let's say the guy doesn't show up when he does. He doesn't call when he says he would call. How can you say this? What do you really feel when someone doesn't call? In my ebook, I drilled down what I call the emotional parfait. Parfait or trifle, where you have all these layers to your feelings. And the top ones are usually anger and unjust. They usually aren't what you're really feeling when a guy cancels. For me, when my first husband would cancel things with us last minute, I would feel so sad. I would feel devastated. And Unfortunately, I didn't always communicate that to him. I communicated the anger I felt. But deep down, I felt sad. And quite frankly, I could cry about it right now. Because when that man would promise me something and then not deliver it, I just felt emotionally torn into two pieces. I loved him, but I felt so sad as a family. Commitments were not being kept. So you see how this sends an arrow right to your heart versus browbeating a man. All right, I teach you a lot more about feeling statements. The next thing I want to stress about feeling statements is before you tell a man anything, I want you to practice just asking yourself, why am I saying this? What am I trying to get him to do or say? And if you're saying something to try to get him to do or say something or feel something, that's manipulation. And again, ladies, this is all we had. Our survival was dependent on being nice to men. So we learned how to manipulate them with our words and our emotions. This is all we had for years and years and years. So now we have to go to a different place of being open, being vulnerable, being honest, and using our feeling statements to not get a man to do or say something, not getting him to manipulate. Let's go back to my husband who would cancel plans, my first husband, who would cancel plans last minute. Manipulation would sound like this. I feel like you don't love me. I feel like, what have I done to deserve this? I feel like you just don't want to be part of this family. So I'm saying all of that to kind of shame him, guilt him, get him to do things my way, instead of really telling him how I feel. And now sometimes you have to have a boundary. And a boundary means you accept his no, I'm canceling, okay, but I'm not going to be treated poorly. You cannot and you must not accept bad behavior, and you always have your boundaries. Now, boundaries are a whole nother thing, but again, I speak about this in my book. Your boundaries are where you say, if you cancel on this vacation, I'm going to be going alone with my mother. Or if you cancel this vacation, I'm not going to be taking any more vacations with you. Or you have whatever your boundary is. It's up to you what your boundary is. And boundaries are really a way of like, if this happens to me, I won't be doing this or this. And that's about your emotional, spiritual, physical well-being, such as if you have more than 2 drinks, I will not be riding in the car home with you tonight. You have to have your own boundaries. I could go on and on about boundaries. So let's go back to some more juicy tips. I think right here is a good place to take a break. Are you tired of feeling misunderstood, ignored, or frustrated by the men in your life? Do you wish you knew how to communicate with them in a way that makes them listen, respect, and adore you? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to check out my ebook, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. This ebook is a comprehensive guide to help you master the art of feminine communication and get what you want from any man in an authentic, warm, loving, caring way. Whether you're single, dating, or in a relationship, this ebook teaches you how to express your feelings, needs, and desires in a way that makes him want to please you and commit to you. You'll learn how to avoid common mistakes that push men away, how to use your voice and body language to attract and keep attention, and how to handle conflict and disagreements without losing his respect, and much, much more. Plus, you'll get access to my 2-day video class that teaches you a lot of body postures and poses that you can use in a lot of different situations, so you'll never run out of the right words to say. 500 Ways to Talk to a Man is the ultimate resource for any woman who wants to improve her communication skills and create a deeper connection with the man in her life. Don't miss this opportunity to transform your love life and get my ebook today. Go to www.everheartcoaching.com and get your copy. The link is below in the description. Let's move on with some more juicy tips. I don't want you to nurture your guy. It's a mistake to believe that nurturing is a quality we do to a grown adult man. Nurturing is for the elderly. It's for animals or children that do not have a voice, and it is for children who cannot nurture themselves. Do not nurture a grown adult man. For example, if he sneezes, don't reach for the Kleenex box and give him a tissue. If he comes in hot from mowing the grass, don't race to give him a glass of water. Don't race around the house and scramble to cook him a hot meal. Instead, this is an amazing opportunity to give your man to lead. Ask him, can I get you anything? Is there anything you need? You ask, because then he goes, yes, here's your instructions. Yes, here's what I need you to do. So you see, now he's getting to be the manager instead of you managing him and coming to him with what he needs in that moment. So kind of let that one marinate in your brain a little bit about how there's this belief you need to nurture a man to get him to love you. That's not true. Use it as a little way to test and look at your relationship and just notice where your reaction is to go right in and help the guy out. Here's another juicy tidbit. When a man is texting you, I always prefer that he do the majority of the texting and that you reach out only second or third communication and you reach out with a feeling statement. So sometimes in my work, for example, especially with dating, I have a course called Fem Tools for Dating, and I advise that you do not lead the texting and text him first and text him to get his attention and text him to remind him that you're still here and that you like him and that you had a great time. Instead, every second to third communication when he is messaging you, you initiate with a feeling statement of some sort. Now, women will tell me, Adrienne, my guy is saying that I never text him, that he's doing all the work, that I never reach out to him. So I've said it many times. Second to third round, go ahead and text him with a feeling statement, such as, hi, I feel so happy. The sun is shining and the birds are chirping. It feels beautiful outside. How are you today? That's perfectly fine. You're reaching out with a feeling statement. It's something positive and beautiful. Again, feeling statements are not to be used to get a man to realize you're still alive and how amazing and remarkable you are. Feeling statements are about being open, vulnerable, feeling, and feminine. Here's another one you should try, and that is to look directly into your guy's eyes, nod, and listen when he speaks. So I don't know if you had a dad like I did, but you had to look him in the eyes while he was talking to you and nod and listen and and not take your eyes off of his. And I really think that eye contact is really important for men because they want to feel important. They need to feel important to stay in alignment with that masculine energy. So why not go ahead and give it to him? Give him some solid respect, and goodwill begets goodwill, because I believe when you love and respect each other, you can look at each other and have conversations without interrupting and take what they're saying very seriously. I believe it does, with time, depending on how your guy is, it will overlap with you as well. Now, I will tell you, men aren't the best at making eye contact while a woman is speaking. They are not the best at it. I don't know if you've ever seen guys talk, but they'll look down at the ground. They'll look at their shoes. They'll hold something in their hand and fiddle with it. They simply communicate in a different way than women do. So just accept it. It's okay. This is about him hearing you, and eye contact, really important with your guys to try that one out today. Let him feel like the alpha. Now, this next one I shared in a video recently on my YouTube channel, and I want you to share some of your food with your guy. Whether it's a little bite of your burger, let him eat the rest of your French fries, save the last slice of pizza for him. It's sounding like nothing but solid junk food, but I don't know a lot of guys that really want your last bite of salad, but you can ask. Or if there's something, delicious you're eating, let him have the first bite. Let him try it. Or offer him some of your food. I think this is a really great way to establish that alpha energy and let him feel like the man, and you're feminine, you're offering, you're sharing, you're having an emotional experience with this person. And I do believe it is a way to be vulnerable and let him know that he can have some of your food. I just think this goes a long way with wolves. It'll probably work with guys too. I always share my food with my husband, and it makes me feel good. I like it when he feels good and he gets some of my food. I think it's just a loving thing to do with your partner. Again, experiment with your guy. See what works, see what feels good for you both. Now, this next one is about sex, and a lot of my powerful dynamite women come to me and say, I have to do all the work to pursue my guy for sex. I'm actually okay with you letting him know you're in the mood. And again, let's go back to animals. When the female lets a guy know she's in the mood, she's in heat. It's a signal. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because if you've seen animals, any type of animal go at it, you know, sometimes there's a little bit of play involved, a little bit of surrender involved. But the woman the female absolutely signals her partner that she's in the mood, that she's wanting this. She also chooses her partner. Don't forget that. But let your guy know you're in the mood. You can say something like, I'm feeling sexy, or I'm feeling snuggly, or I'm feeling empty inside without you, or I have an empty spot for you to fill. Try that one with your guy. See what happens. A good one that is a little X-rated, but if you don't mind talking dirty to your guy, you can let him know, for example, especially if he's finishing a big chore or about to take on a big chore, or just if you want to have fun with this one, he's treating you nice. You can say, I might let you fuck me later, or I might let you fuck me today, or use whatever language you want to. But saying the I might, it's tantalizing for a guy. It's a maybe. And that's going to be in his head all day long. Now, in 500 Ways to Talk to a Man, I have a whole section on sexy scripts. So make sure your kids don't get a hold of it. They will learn some new words. But definitely check that one out. I'm going to pause for a second so you can hear from my sponsors. Now, this last 2 points I want to talk about are, to me, some of the most important things that you can say with a man to pull him closer. This first one, really easy. End as many sentences as you can with what do you think? What do you think? This gets him back into that masculine energy where he has to think and problem solve, because we already know you can do it. You can problem solve, you can think, you can probably do it better than him, but you are also exhausted and you don't want to have to manage everything your partner does or says. You want him to be in charge. You can always negotiate, have boundaries, and talk about whatever he thinks, but definitely ask, what do you think? Try and end a lot of your sentences with that. Now, this next one, very important. You cannot and you must not convince someone to love you. Are you tired of feeling misunderstood, ignored, or frustrated by the men in your life? Do you wish you knew how to communicate with them in a way that makes them listen, respect, and adore you? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to check out my ebook, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. This ebook is a comprehensive guide to help you master the art of feminine communication and get what you want from any man in an authentic, warm, loving, caring way. Whether you're single, dating, or in a relationship, this ebook teaches you how to express your feelings, needs, and desires in a way that makes him want to please you and commit to you. You'll learn how to avoid common mistakes that push men away, how to use your voice and body language to attract and keep attention, and how to handle conflict and disagreements without losing his respect, and much, much more. Plus, you'll get access to my 2-day video class that teaches you a lot of body postures and poses that you can use in a lot of different situations, so you'll never run out of the right words to say. 500 Ways to Talk to a Man is the ultimate resource for any woman who wants to improve her communication skills and create a deeper connection with the man in her life. Don't miss this opportunity to transform your love life and get my ebook today. Go to www.XOXO AdrienneEverheartCoaching.com and get your copy. The link is below in the description. In my program, The ABCs to Get Him Back, I give you the absolute best chances to get a man back into your life. But it is not about convincing someone to love you. And I want to make this really clear because love is not something that you must prove you are worthy of to another person. It will not work. Walking away from someone who says, I don't love you, I can't be with you, I can't marry you, that is the most important thing you can do. Is walking away. Okay, you don't get me anymore. You don't love me, you don't want me, you don't get me. And you don't keep texting, and you don't keep hanging out, and you don't keep being there for them. They have to miss you. So often a man says, yeah, I don't want marriage. Yeah, I can't love you, I can't be there for you, because he hasn't had to work for it. And masculine energy often sees value in the things they have to work for. Look, I didn't make up these rules, but we all know this is how men can be. Love is complex. Why a man chooses a woman is complex. He feels it on a gut level that you're right for him. He just knows it. He just feels it, that you get him like no other woman out there, and his life is going to be so much better having you in it. You are not here to be abused, neglected, and told that you're not worth being loved. And then let's make that guy the guy we want to be with. That's not how it works. So I want anyone listening who you are delusional on how love works, you do not have to convince someone to love you. This leads to, and I don't use this word often, but a toxic and unhealthy relationship. Your emotional well-being, your mental well-being gets scattered and so confused when you are working trying to get someone to love you. So when children are growing up, if a parent rejects them, they cannot possibly believe that anything is wrong with the parent. It's just not how a child's brain works. They will blame themselves. They will blame themselves for what's going on. They can know something's wrong. They can know that it's not right, that this is happening, but they ultimately blame themselves. They can't see the parent, their caregiver, as the person incapable. This gets transferred into adult relationships. When you've been neglected by a parent or rejected on some level, your inner girl is trying to fix or solve that, and she will spend endless years and months trying to get someone to love her. Love should be given freely and received, and it cannot be forced, it cannot be coerced. Take that beautiful, wonderful energy you have inside of you where you want to be loved and give love, and transfer that. Start focusing on building that for a healthy and respectful relationship based on mutual love and admiration and understanding. Please do not misuse the ABCs to Get Him Back program. You do not convince someone that you are lovable. This is the best way to pull a man closer with your every word and action, is to let him know that you are high atop your pedestal and you are not down at his feet trying and begging to get his attention or love. I was in a similar situation with my second husband. I had to walk away from him, my husband now Jeff, of course. I had to walk away from him to assert my value. I knew I was worth being a wife. I was worthy of that. I had to walk away. And I tell you all about that more in the ABCs, but for this podcast episode, I really wanted to just talk about the 500 Ways to Talk to a Man, ebook and video, and it's full of more examples like this and all sorts of situations you go through in life where you can use your feminine energy. You can choose your words carefully, have a man hanging on your every word, ready for more, because talking to you and being with you feels so good to him. He can't get enough of it. All right, everyone. I hope this podcast episode has been helpful. As always, I love to hear from you in the comments section. If you're interested in supporting my podcast, there's a link below for Spotify support. And I hope to see you in my group, I Heart Love Academy. That's available also in the links below, as well as the link to 500 Ways. I'll see you next week.